Hello everyone, welcome to the MAYCH X PAJAK podcast. Once again, we continue in isolation. Sad times, really. One of us is struggling with this more than the other at the moment. We're going to dive into the page a bit quicker this week than normal, but before we do, Chris, how are you? You're in a really bad mood.
Yeah, pretty much.
We've had so many relatively jovial conversations in the last few weeks, even despite the circumstances. But you rang me before and you were like, "Are you good to go?" And I was like, "Oh God, here we go."
I was doing so well this morning as well, because it's now the second day of working from home with the two kids and a wife who's better and now in work. And I really hope they open the schools up soon, Paul. I really hope they open the schools up, because A, it's fucking knackering,
yeah,
and B, my head is fried, like absolutely fried.
Yeah.
They're just non-stop, mate. They're just non-stop. It's not their fault. They're just little bastards.
Yeah.
You can't fill them up. You can't.
Yeah, like
you can't. Can you? You just can't. Like the first 3 hours of the day is them eating as much good stuff as possible so that they can eat chocolate after they've eaten a load of fruit. So they're like, give us some toast. I'm like, sound, Nutella? No, not today. Once every 2 days you can have Nutella, because I'm a really bad parent that thinks he's trying to be good. Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, right. Then they know that they're onto the fruit. So they're getting the grapes, they're getting the strawberries, they're getting the bloody kiwi fruit. And then all of a sudden they're like, he's run out of things. We can get crisps next. Crisps is next on the hit list. So they're like, give us some rings, some party rings, which are hula hoops in their head. And then and the other ones
can we just address why your kids think hula hoops are called party rings?
Well, it's Lyra, really, and the answer is that she's got about as good a memory as me. So that's why there's nothing. I'm not calling them party rings. She calls party rings the biscuits party rings as well. She still calls Robin Wobbin, and she's 3. So you know, we are where we are. You all learn at different paces.
So you buy it.
Lyra learns at my pace.
By like 10 o'clock, you're onto crisps.
No, mate, that's 9. That's like 9 o'clock, mate. 10 o'clock. As we're up at like 6:30.
The mainland and heroin by midday.
We've gone through that. We've gone through that by then. They're getting a taxi driver to drop off the goods. No, and then we're on crisps, and then it's chocolate, and now it's Easter eggs, isn't it? And I think what they do is I think they come in. They're clever, like these little buggers. They come in when you know. When they know, I reckon they look around the corner and go, he's busy there. He will not listen. He will not be listening to us. So they come in and they go, I could have some Easter eggs. I'm like, yeah. And then all of a sudden, they're knee-deep in fucking chocolate eggs. And I'm like, well, who said this? And they're like, you said. I was like, oh, is that when I went, yeah, and shushed them away. Yep. They're clever. Yep. And they work in twos. They go in tandem. So you think you've got one sorted, and then the other one comes in. Where's my milk? Yeah. Oh my God! Why couldn't you both just ask me at the same time? Are you trying to have you got access to my step count here? Are you trying to get me to lose a little bit of weight? By the way, because you won't let me do it in one go. And I'm like, please, just Robin, how to get the water out? Will you just get the water out of the fridge yourself? Yeah. Oh, but I've got sore legs, mate. It's 6:30. Stop it with the you've got sore legs. You know what I mean? And then this goes on until pretty much now. It goes on until forever. I don't think it ends. It's like, well, I was going to say like football, but football's friggin' ended. Football was my escape. My life, my job was my escape from this. What am I doing?
I've fallen foul.
Why am I trapped in this?
Of that yeah thing. I had this the other day and I realised that you'd have to be careful because your kids are old enough to get you on technicalities now. So, like, I had it when Penny was like, blah, 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 blah. It goes, Daddy, and that was the 7,000th time I'd heard that in the space of about 2 minutes, and I'd switched off to by that point. It was, Daddy, blah, 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 blah. And it was in an inflection at the end. Daddy, okay. Yeah, fine, whatever, babe. And she was like, okay, so we can get it out now. And I'm like, wait, what? And she's like, the chocolate lollipop making machine. I'm like, oh no.
Oh God, no.
And the problem is that like, it's like, when I say something to the little one, it's like it's legally binding. it's like a legally binding contract that I've entered into, such that like if I've ever agreed to something, I might as well have carved it into marble and set it up as a rule of the house on the wall or something. It's like a fucking commandment, Chris. Because if I then break that bond that I've made accidentally to her, it's meltdown central for then on. So yeah, because the chocolate lollipop making machine, if anyone's ever got one of these, it's not a machine, it's fucking horse shit. It's one of these things that you get from Smith's. And it might cost, you might see it discounted. So you get it in the works maybe, and it's discounted to like $5.99. You're like, make some chocolate lollies at home, wrap them. Oh, great fun activity for the kids. No, because you don't get any chocolates. You have to go buy some chocolate chips, and then you've got to put some hot water in this plastic dish that melts the chocolate over a period of about 7 hours. And there's a fine balance, because if you miss that window, it's just fucking hard chocolate again in a fucking stupid dish. And then it doesn't have enough to basically do more than one lollipop at a time. So you're committing to like a half a day process to make this crap chocolate fucking lollipops that are just fucking attractive. So it's one of them where you do it once, it either never gets made ever and gets lashed, which is what happened to our mystery surprise egg maker, or you use it once and then you vow to yourself never to agree to it again, which I did accidentally. Why? Because I'm a fucking knobhead, Chris, and I get so bored of listening to them.
So there is a life hack I think I'm going to go with for this one, and it's about activities, and I think I'm starting to get a handle on what activities are good and what activities are bad. That sounds horrendous, Paul, I'm not going to lie to you. That sounded ridiculous. What you need is quick activities. So if you're baking with the kids, you don't want to be baking with the kids. No. That takes ages. What you want to do when you do baking with the kids is get them in at the point where you're just mixing the chocolate and the Rice Krispies together and spooning it into things. So today, on my lunch break, I'm there. I've got I've got the chocolate on a pan of water, sound, laughing. I've got the tray out. I've put the little things in. I've got all pink ones because they don't want the green and the yellow. They're all in. I know exactly what they're doing. And then I shout, who wants to make Rice Krispie cakes? Yeah! They come flying in, and I'm like, right, sound, there's the Rice Krispies, here's the hot chocolate, spoon that in, get that in there. Right, right, you're done. Here's the bowl, go and eat that, and then put that in the sink when you're done. Rice Krispie cakes, 15 minutes flat, no messing around. Robert, your father's brother. Yeah,
I realised this because I do pancakes for the kids all the time, and I promised Jack for his birthday last week that he'd have birthday pancakes, and we were getting everything set up for in the rooms. We were getting the balloons all blown up, and we were getting everything set up the night before, like at 11 o'clock at night, and I was like, I'll do pancakes. I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make the batter tonight. Oh my God, I'd forgotten that baking pancake batter takes 4 seconds. It takes literally 4 seconds. It is the easiest recipe on the face of planet Earth, other than like buttered toast. And I did it, and I was like, have I missed a step here? Have I missed something crucial? Because no, I haven't made pancakes on my own in like 2 years. One of them, or God forbid, both of them have helped me at some point down the line. And it's like just the process of whisking. Kids can't whisk. The fuck, no. You know, I spend most of my time going, hold the bowl with one hand, when you just keep everything inside the bowl. It's either too little or too much, and it's literally, so making pancake batter is a fucking 45-minute process with kids, whereas it's a 2-minute process. And I did it, and I was like, oh, this is lovely. And then they know they can't cook them because the cookers are too out. I've trained them well in that regard. But yeah, no, that's very important. Yeah, short, sharp activities where they have controlled access to elements of things that you want them to. I really like that as a notion.
And that's pretty much how mine and Kat's marriage works. She does the same thing for me, Paul, and it's why we've been together for about 12 years or something right now. She knows it. She took me on holiday once. We went to Iceland, and I say she took me, you know, I paid, but she allowed it to happen. And that. So, and then at the end of every day, I was driving all day, so I was driving like 5.5 hours, something like that each day. She's very clever. She's got an activity for me when we arrive. So every point at the end of the ridiculous drive that I want to whinge about the whole way through, she's got the most amazing thing lined up for me. So it's like, we're going snowmobiling on top of a glacier, on top of a volcano. We're going canoeing. We're going out whale watching. And every time I finish the drive and I just want to whinge or sit down, she's like, come on, let's go and do this. And I'm like, yes, the best activity of the day. And then it's like, oh, she's dangling the next car. It's like, tomorrow we're whale watching asking Chris, so you've got to drive, how far is it? 6. I'll get there, don't worry, babe. I'll make sure we get there in time. And I'm like, she just set me off and she's just winding me up and watching me go. And that's pretty much what I've now done.
Yeah, it is like the whole, like, if you just shut up while we're doing the shopping, sweet, you get sweets, and if you don't shut up, no sweets. Now, I can't think of many instances where, despite them breaking that pact, I've not given them sweets at some point later on. But yeah, no, I get that. The carrot, and the carrot, but less the stick.
The Morris, like the supermarket sweets one's an interesting thing for me because I never know whether it's best to give them the sweets right at the beginning. Take a lollipop with you, and then they'll be quiet the whole way through. Or whether to use that as the carrot at the end of the supermarket, because quite frankly, none of them work.
No. So,
can
I propose?
How do we decide?
Both.
Do we just give them one at both ends?
Yeah, absolutely. Something to start, because like the hair, getting a kid's haircut, bag of buttons just to keep them distracted while they're having it, and then if you get through it without absolute meltdown, then something to reward at the end. But this is horrendous. This is why all kids are soft as shite. Absolutely, all kids are soft as shite, and will be for all generations. We talk about like the evolution of man. We're going backwards because we reward the most simple. I mean, I'm basically borrowing a line from Bob Parr. Is it from The Incredibles? But like, yeah, we reward so much mediocrity. But really, we're just rewarding kids just for not ruining our mentality throughout the day. I'm all right. We had this week where, in fact, we had your wife went back to work, mine went back to work. Now, obviously, Charlie's a teacher, but they're on like a 3-weekly rota. There's not enough kids in frontline workers, kids, and there's loads of teachers, which has never happened in the history of teaching. Has there been like a 2 kids to 1 teacher ratio in the history of teaching ever, unless you live in some mad little Tory village somewhere. But yeah, like, so she was out, but she was only out the house for like 4 hours, and I got stung because in the morning she got up, and I was very aware that she was going back into work. I'm very aware that she's going back in having been through a combination of being ill and then looking after me and looking after the kids, and then finally being rotated onto all this stuff. So I knew it'd be hanging over her head. So I wanted to do everything right in the morning. I wanted to make sure she was as good as possible. And so when she says to me, can we go for a walk before I go to work? I'm like, of course you can, babe. Whatever you want. If that's what you want to do, if that's going to make you happy, then we'll go for that walk before. And it was horrible. It was freezing, and we all froze our tits off, and it was really hot, and all the kids just had a cob on the whole way around. But we got back, and she went off to work, and we went, brilliant, have a good day, enjoy yourself, try to make the most of it, you're doing your bit, and all that kind of stuff. And after like an hour of having both kids, I realised, oh, that sneaky bitch, she's stolen me only escape from the house with the kids before I entered into looking after the kids period. And she knows. Do you listen? You be watching? You knew, babe. Absolutely stitched me up royally. So yeah, and to be fair, it wasn't too bad. It went okay ultimately, but yeah, there was that bit, and I was like, my one break, my one potential escape had been taken away from me before. That's harsh, that's like giving up your get out of jail free card to get yourself like something on Monopoly, and then you get in jail on your next roll. Ridiculous.
I left the house on my own last night for an hour. I used my full hour. In fact, I feel bad. I went 6 minutes over because I kind of lost track of time.
Did you go I can just see you like walking towards the front door and shedding devices and like unloosing and just going off into the wild for a bit. Did you go to the woods?
Do you know what I did, mate? I did not go to the woods. I didn't think there would be anyone there. I just went for a walk around the block, and because actually this is one of the things that's been doing my head in this week, and it's not me Purge, but people who are like all of a sudden just spreading fucking shit miles on the 1 hour of exercise.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like all of a sudden, fucking everyone's a runner running a fucking half marathon, spreading whatever germs they've picked up over fucking 3 districts of Liverpool, instead of just doing what they normally do, is sit at home and watch fucking Netflix. Yeah. All of a sudden everyone's a fucking fitness freak, and they're out there, and there's fucking tons of them. It's like, how are you getting fucking headbands and wristbands in a lockdown? Where are you getting these things from? You know what I mean, Paul? It's like, don't tell me you had these in your house, because you never. You know what the difference You're lying is? To me. You've ordered them from Amazon Prime in a lockdown. How sad are you?
Yeah. I mean, that, or you weren't normally out.
Oh, but Paul, this is completely different. You can't have the day that I had and go running, Paul. Yeah. You just can't. Yeah. I was walking around with my head in my hands for an hour. Nobody else was doing that. I was more entitled than anybody to go out there and cry on the streets of Liverpool near me house.
I love that. There's just a mad combination of like fitness freaks, of like families going for nice pleasant looking walks, and the parents who've had to watch the kids on their own just like shell shocked, like I say, like Saving Private Ryan, Omar Beach, just walking around in a daze, like completely disconnected from the world around. I love that. I genuinely.
No headphones, no music. I walked and I had a couple of conversations on my phone with adults, and it was glorious, to be honest with you.
So you rang me this morning, and Chris rang me this morning, and I answered the phone, and I was like, hello, and he just goes, oh God, yes, a deep voice. I swear, because your ear can die to certain frequencies, can't it? Like you can lose the ability to register certain frequencies. I think that's what happens. Like I think my wife struggles with the hearing is years in classrooms and listening to kids and the high-pitched noise that comes out of them. But yeah, I love the fact that like it would have been my voice would have come across as some sort of mad tonic to the
it was glorious
to the decibels you've been used to all morning.
I've still got a semi on now. It's about 12 hours later.
Sad. Right, shall we do the Purge? Yeah, we moved it back towards the front of the podcast because we realised it was leaving everyone on a really down note. What we have added, and I'm so sorry, I can't find who suggested it. I've had a look on the Twitter and on the comments. Someone suggested that we add something called the Surge or similar. I'm prepared to take better name suggestions on that. Which is something that we want to absolutely ring fence, protect, keep forever and ever and ever. Whatever. We're going to do that at the back end of the podcast this week, so stay tuned for that. Chris, would you care to purge first?
Yeah, can I purge this room, please, Paul? It's incredibly frustrating, to be honest with you. It's very, very small. It's making me feel claustrophobic. The little people look big in here. And I am like, there's so many wires. And like, if you're an audio technician and you're over here, I don't know how you do your job, first and foremost, and also sort our sound out for us here at Madman TV, because we get complaints about it and have done for ages. I digress. I have to climb over the bed or under the desk to get into my seat and stuff like that. Now, because of all the wires in the new camera, I'm essentially looking like someone who's trying to rob a safe with lasers and stuff, and I'm having to contort myself into these mad like little ways through, and I'm like, here we go, and then you saw me nearly fall off the bed the other day in the middle of a podcast, and it's just infuriating. And if I'm honest, right, I didn't spend enough on the carpet. Because it's underfoot a lot now, and this was the spare room.
Yeah,
you just.
How can you even see the carpet?
That'll be fine. It's my feet, Paul. You think I'm sat here in socks, mate?
Oh right, sad.
You know what I mean? I'm burrowing my feet into the carpet as we speak. Do you know the way I cause holes in my trainers?
Oh right.
Because my toes are constantly moving. Have you
Can
seen
I
me
just
do that?
explain this?
And that's why
Can I just explain this to the viewers and listeners, that those shoes that have become more popular in recent years, that they're kind of made of like a loose, like nylon-y material or whatever. You can't wear them anymore because you bought one pair of them, and your big toe basically ate its way through.
Yeah, a couple of weeks.
Burrowed.
Pretty impressive.
Burrowed its way out.
So my toes are always on the go. So right now they're burrowing into the carpet. So I'll be in the kitchen in a couple of weeks' time, to be honest. Just some big fucking Wallace and Gromit feet hanging through. To be fair, I might be able to drop into some trousers and get myself some toast on the go, which would be nice.
Tunneling for freedom. I like that. Yeah, I know. It goes back to the working from home thing, and I think for a lot of people, working from home seems to be an absolute dream. And I said, it's not for me. It's genuinely not for me, because I mean, it depends. If you just need to be on a laptop, and you're in an office environment normally, and let's face it, the thing about working in office environments is that, or anything, shops and all that kind of stuff, is that most of the people you work with, you've got nothing in common with, and so you live in a world of shared misery, and that's how you get by your days. You just bitch about shit all day long, and it can be fun, but it's also a very draining life. So there's loads of people I think who come away from those kind of environments and are just like, oh, fucking zen, like sat at home, made up in the bills, you know, with the slippers on and whatever, having sneaky tea/wank breaks and thinking everything is glorious. But that's a world that we're not able to inhabit, because we've got to manage the kids. We need to be able to video. We need to be able to do this. And we've got a responsibility to some degree as video professionals to deliver a relative degree of quality with all of it. So you have to have a bit of a set, and you've got to have a little bit of things going on. So you've done this, you know, it took you like 2 hours to construct your set, but effectively you've constructed yourself a DVD walled prison. Yeah,
and also my old bedroom. That's what I've conducted. Basically,
just needs a mini disc player.
Yeah, it's pawned that for drug money back in the day. Damn it.
Oh, bless. Right, so
I missed that.
The mini discs.
What are you purging?
I'm gonna purge
Can I purge my wife before you do?
Your wife? Before I purge.
Because,
I'm
well,
not gonna purge your wife.
I'm not sure. I might be purging myself or my craziness.
If you purge your wife, Chris, you might need to be purging yourself straight afterwards. Go on.
Yeah, it's true. Charlie, if you're watching, don't tell Kat this. But she went back to work yesterday, and then a couple of people from her work are now working from home, which I got told a few weeks ago wasn't a big problem. Now, I don't think the Kat's asked to work from home, and I don't blame her, to be quite honest with you. But today she went in her fucking own clothes, right, Paul? Yeah. And the kids were the first ones to spot it. They were like, "Why is Mummy's work shoes there?" And I was like, "I'm fucking no. Why the fuck are her work shoes there?" Like, so I'm texting Kat that straight away. Kids are asking, "Why aren't you in your fucking work shoes?" You know what I mean? So the plot thickens. So she texts back, "Oh, we're allowed to wear our own clothes now." Like, hey, fuck, yeah. Well, why is that? Because it's social distancing. Interesting. So she comes home. I'm like, "Where's the fucking work laptop?" "What do you mean? Where's the fucking work laptop?" "What do you mean?" "You're working in your car somewhere, aren't you? Just to get out the fucking house for 8 hours. Aren't you? Tell me the fucking truth, will you? Tell me the fucking truth. You've given you a work laptop and you're just fucking leaving at the start of the day and leaving me to deal with this shit. And this after one day, Paul, I'm already going schizo like this."
She's just got to sit in the mum and dad's garden. That's what it is.
I actually accused her of costing. She's like, "It's fucking shut." I went, "Fuck off, you're in your car somewhere."
She's actually in the office upstairs, mate. I mean, no, she wasn't. She's fine. She's obviously gone to work for the NHS in a legitimate NHS building. That's definitely happened. No, I mean there are.
She took a photo of her boots that she was wearing, and I was like checking the floor. I was like, "That doesn't look like what I'd imagine an NHS."
I love the idea that, like, at this point, if she'd gone, "I'm having an affair," you'd have been like, "Fucking whatever." As long as you're not wet, you know what I mean? Work from home. You can have as many affairs as you want. Just fucking, you can have an affair break if you want, so long as you work from home.
Doing in the bedroom upstairs as long as you're fucking here.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, there's
sneaking around the back or here.
Yeah. There's loads. Yeah. I bet there's tons. In fact, let us know if you're having any of those kind of issues with a partner and going to work or whatever. Again, my wife's probably going to be the one replying to that, because I'm in the office and she is looking after the kids. But no, I reckon.
What do you think people are doing with two families now, Paul, in this social distancing lockdown thing?
I want to ask something on the social distancing stuff, because I know you've been keeping up abreast on it a bit more than I have. If all your family are adhering to social distancing, so you're just staying in yourselves and you're only maybe going out, let's say, just for the sake of argument, you're not even going out to shop. Let's say you're getting all your stuff delivered to you or whatever. Yeah. Why can't you go and see your family?
In case you take germs into the house.
Yeah. But what if you've not got the? How would you have the germs if you're not going out and about and doing stuff?
How'd you get there?
You get in your car and you drive there,
and then
you get out.
Do you float there, like you're not touching the floor?
Okay.
Because germs can live on a fucking surface, can't they? So it's like Staphylococcus aureus or any of the food things, you know what I mean? That can be transmitted through like fucking just walking on it. Like you walk on it, your ma goes to clean the fucking porch step or something, and then all of a sudden it's there.
You know what
like,
it
you
is?
Know what I mean? That's the thing. Or what, like if there's droplets on you, and then they drop off you, I suppose.
Yeah.
You're putting them in danger, aren't you?
The answer is it's bollocks, and it's the point is that
You've seen Outbreak.
Yeah, no. But the point is that again, it's another one of these things,
African
isn't it?
Mutamba or whatever it is. That was pretty fucking mean. Yeah. Then all of a sudden it was airborne, Paul, when it mutated. You know, that monkey. Actually,
on that
crazy times.
On that, I've realised this is that like television and films, and I remembered my screenwriting course from back in uni, and the everything you ever see on TV and film is basically largely comes from like a core concept, so maybe something that's happened in the writer's life, and then you just but real life is boring, so you just blow it up and you make it big and more exciting. And basically what we're currently going through now, and I don't want to make light of obviously the death numbers. I'm not making that point at all, but in terms of like we could have a zombie apocalypse. This is the grain from which the zombie apocalypse story comes from. It's just really like, it's just not very. It's just a bit crap, innit? Everyone's sitting in their house and fucking wait for further instruction for it some point in the not too distant future. No, the point I was making before is that the problem we've got is that, and it goes back to we were talking about the social distancing Nazis last week, is all these rules are really in place for the morons who are never going to listen to the rules anyway. And that's what all rules are in place for. All majorly enforced and government handed down rules are put in place for people who don't have the decency to just do them in the first place. And that's what you got. That's why you've got helicopters flying over the estate round ours all weekend, because they're on the lookout for the lids having barbecues in the back garden while we're all sensibly sat at home.
It's the weather for it.
Well, no, exactly, but yeah, you know, we're all sat at home sensibly obeying the rules, but we'll be the ones who pay for it because there's people who will just never, ever, ever going to listen to all that stuff. Anyway, I'm going to purge.
Sorry, what were you purging? Go on.
Non-left-handed scissors. Now, this is a pain that the vast majority of Earth won't understand because you're all right-handed, and it's there's just I reckon 2 in every 3 pairs of scissors I encounter I physically cannot cut with, and it's mad. It's like they're broken. It's weird. It's like if it was an electronic device that just dies upon your touch, and then someone else picks it up and it comes back to life again. They're mad. There's no rhyme or reason. I've never truly been able to understand the science behind this, but like it's basically what I've discovered is like loose scissors. I cannot cut with them for whatever reason that is, and maybe someone understands the science behind it, but there's just no need. It's basically what I'm saying is scissors are racist, and you know they need to fucking get on side because it's very, very unfair. It's like the crappiest, most basic handicap unknown to man. It's honestly stupid. Being able to cut things with scissors is such a fundamental and useful skill, but like this is okay, when I go back to the zombie apocalypse thing, is that if I got stuck in lockdown and I say I needed scissors and I was only in with a pair of right-handed scissors, I would be stuck, Chris. I would be stuck for all time. Maybe I'd die out as a result of this.
I'm not letting you purge that.
Why?
Because if you purge the fucking non-right-handed scissors, I'd be fucked.
No. Because
you did. You purged all of them. You said I'm purging
No.
non-left-handed scissors, so you've purged the right-handed ones. I ain't letting you purge it because I'd be in the same situation purging it back.
Disagree.
And you can't. There's no backsies on this.
You don't understand. There's no such thing as not in that regard. Right-handed people can cut with scissors that left-handed people can cut with. And by the way,
because we're not morons. It's not difficult.
Honestly, I wish I genuinely, there'll be people like that with that response go, what are you talking about? I can't, if you're left-handed, you will know. It fucking insane. It is insane. There are just types of I wish I had some to hand that I could demonstrate this with, but it is genuinely insane because everyone, all right,
Paul, we'll wait. We're happy to wait for you to find a pair of scissors.
I don't think
there won't
be, there's none in this office because I won't allow it. But the right-handers can cut with all scissors, but left-handers can only cut with specific types of scissors. It is
right. Okay, we're going to have to compromise and just purge left-handers.
But we're like,
as you said though, in a time of emergency, if you had to cut through a piece of paper to escape a zombie, you're fucked. So.
I'll just have to lick it till it's moist.
I like you. In fact, I fucking love you. But you're going. You've been purged. Never to be seen again.
Honestly, this is such a niche thing because being left-handed is quite a niche thing anyway. But if you're a lefty and you feel my pain, let me know. Let me share my pain with me at MAYCH X PAJAK on Twitter. Tweet us and let us know if you've got any experiences, and you can demonstrate this for us as well. If you've got some scissors in your house that you cannot cut with, please do help me in this demonstration.
I'm gonna get Robin's left-handed, isn't she?
Wow, and also possibly being murdered as we speak.
I think that was Lyra that's getting murdered, so Robin probably chasing her with a pair of right-handed fucking scissors. We're sound. She won't be able to use them. No, I'm gonna test it, and by the time this video gets edited, you will know one way or another whether a 5-year-old can work a pair of right-handed scissors.
But it's mad
because if it's in there, she can work it. If it's not in there, she can't work it, and I'm not showing you the video.
We've got 2 pairs of scissors in our kitchen, and one of them's got like a grey handle on the inside, and I can cut with them, and the other one's the black ones. And the amount of times if I go for where the scissors are, it's the wrong ones, and it's just a complete waste of my life. I need to. It's probably just that pair of scissors in my house by purging, and really I just need to chuck them in the bin.
This is brilliant because this is the purge. This is the whole point of the fucking segment. It's those stupid things that only bother you. Yeah. And you know, I know you said that it's all left-handers, Paul, but none of us really believe that watching. Let me know in the comments section, of course. It's really just you're purging this for your own sanity, and that's fine. But it's just you, mate.
Honestly, left-handed struggles, left-handed pains. Anyone else who feels it, let me know. Honestly, you're gonna have a world. You'll have your eyes open to this in years to come, where you're being sent out by your daughter for some scissors she can use to do a GCSE project or whatever at fucking whatever clock.
I'm just gonna do what my dad did with me and my fucking left foot in footy. I'm just gonna make her practice. Instead, she won't be out there kicking a ball with her left foot. She'll be working 2 pairs of scissors on a night shift.
Chris, are you genuinely telling me that if Robin decided she didn't want to do that you would be able to make her do that?
No, but Cat would.
Liar. Absolutely not.
Oh, Cat fucking would. You tell Cat she's a liar, Paul.
Oh, right, sounds.
Right. Exactly.
Battle of wills.
Exactly.
Battle of wills.
When she's in there in the office tomorrow, you can fucking tell her.
Hard cut to 10 years in the future and just World War III erupted. I want to ask you a question, actually. About the looking after the kids thing, because I think you've got a slightly different experience to it than I have, and not just the amount of time that you're having to look after them on your own. Does the fact that the girls are both girls and close in age mean that they're easily distracted as a pair?
No.
That really upsets me, because that was my one thing. Because Jack's 8, Penny's 4, and they play together brilliantly, and it's been a revelation. It's been actually lovely seeing how well they play together the last few weeks. It's great, and I'm so grateful that they've got each other. But I give you an example of he is into all the same stuff I'm into, but the newer versions of it and all that. And so me and him, I could spend infinite amounts of time with him and never get bored, because he just wants to play computer games and watch cool movies and cool TV shows and all that kind of stuff, laughing all day long. And
until he wants to watch the same episode twice.
Yeah. But Penny's fine, and she's much funnier, and she's funny in different ways. But there's just stuff that she's into that bores me, and I struggle to do games with kids that I'm not asked about. But I got the Wii out. I was like, right, there you go. Physical activity. We'll get Mario and Sonic Olympics. Because remember the old 100-meter sprint where you're just shaking the 2 things in opposite. Anyone can do that. Amazing fun. Actually good exercise as well and all that kind of stuff. And it took me, I had to go up the loft. I had to search. I got it down. Went to get it set up. I had to it was the Wii U actually. So I had to charge that bit up. I had to then find the games, go upstairs, back up the loft again, get the ladder down, get the games, bring them down. There's not a disc in there. Go and find one of the other machines, plug it in, get the disc out that. Then I sit down. Have I got batteries? No, I have a bollocks. I've got to get the fucking batteries. I've got to start pulling batteries out of remotes and remote control cars and all that shit. Then, do I have enough fucking Wii nunchucks to go with the Wiimotes? No. Do I? Bollocks. Back up the loft again. Again, ladder down, climb up, get it around. Finally it took me about 2 hours in total to get this finally set up. And we did the 100 meters once. She was like,
that's it, mate.
nah, I'm done. And he was like, no, can we do a full Olympics? And I'm like, I would love to do a full Olympics, mate. I would love nothing more than to do a full Olympics with you. She was just like full partridge shrug. Whatever, this is shit, Dad. Can we go and do something? Can we go and do something completely different that's rubbish? And it's like, yes is the answer.
I actually don't mind it, you know, like, they do play well together, but Robin and Lyra like the same things, but play in completely different ways. So Robin tends to get bored of Lyra's games quickly, and Lyra doesn't understand most of Robin's games, and Robin's really bossy, so she'll just tell her how to play, and then like Lyra doesn't. No one enjoys being told, no, the little fucking puppy has to be a meter over there for no fucking reason. It's like marriage, actually. But I digress again.
Gonna make it a young man very browbeaten in the future.
Lyra, like, fucking, she's hilarious. Like, today, I was down, she was like, I've made a campfire for the fucking Sylvanian family. So I was like, go ahead, a campfire. How have you found out about campfires? Obviously, it's YouTube. So she goes in, I go in, and they're all sat around like a fucking table. I'm like, that's not a campfire, babe. Give us that paper. Give me a red and a yellow crayon. Come over here, right? So I draw her a campfire and we set it up in the middle. And then I'm like, we need some campfire tunes, babe. You know what I mean? She's like, campfire tunes? I'm like, yeah, we sing songs around the campfire. Don't you know this? And she's like, no, I've never been around the campfire, Daddy. I'm like, well, welcome to my world. Come on, I was a Boy Scout. Let's go. So then I ended up on the fucking Baden Powell, is it? YouTube fucking channel. I don't know whether it was the real Baden Powell or whatever. And they've got some like fucking Scout YouTube songs there. And I'm like, brilliant, let's go. So we're singing like fucking Arcala and all this shit. And we're singing these campfire songs with the kids. And then we're like, oh, okay, right, they don't really know the words to this. And they probably don't need to know Gingangu, watch it, Gingangu, and all that. So I'm like, right, well, let's get them something else. And lo and behold, BINGO's there. And I'm like, these no BINGO. I'm like, Robin, come in here, babe. Let's go. And you say anything like kind of exciting, she'll come flying into the room, and I'm like, right, you get the two baby dogs, you get the two, and then we'll do the BINGO, and then we'll do the happy, you know it. So then all of a sudden 35 minutes has gone by and we're still singing around the campfire, and it's great fun. Like, I enjoy those types of games because you can do it, and then, but the best part about it is you're showing them a way to play. So the next time we do it, I won't do that game. I'll just make something else up. And then you see them doing it for a few days, and then they'll maybe branch off and do their own creative way of playing. That's the boss part of parenting for me. The annoying part is when you spend 4 hours putting a fucking Wii in there and bringing it down, and then they go, that's fucking shit, isn't it?
I mean, that sounds lovely, but I just prefer it when I go to Jack, should we watch Guardians of the Galaxy? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, right, so I'll get the popcorn. But that's the thing, is that that having to entertain more than one people with all the different tastes. Because, like, yeah, she's getting better at watching stuff, like in movies and stuff. And she was banging into it. We watched School of Rock over about 4 days, and she was like, can we watch School of Rock? And I'm like, absolutely, yeah, we can. But then you get 15-20 minutes and she's just doing your head in. And it's like that thing you said before, like everyone gets settled in, and you start to be able to preempt what your kids' needs are. So it's like, right, okay, so I've done this now for every day for the last month. So I'm going to sit down. They're both going to need a drink. They're both going to need, what do they normally ask for? A biscuit. Fine, have a biscuit. That's fine. Let's make sure we've got the biscuits there. How far away are the tissues in case they need to blow the nose or they want to do whatever, or all those kind of things. And then it's like, what are they likely to want the teddies? How far away is that going to be? What are all the possible needs they can ask for? And the problem is, of course, is that every single time you think you've got that cracked is when they invent a new thing that they need all of a sudden. Yeah. Like me hair's sore. Well, I need plaster. I need a plaster. My finger's sore. It's not.
See that one coming, Daddy.
If it's not bleeding, if there's not physical blood dripping from it, you ain't getting a plaster.
It's the dreaded thing where you get there and you're just about, like, so we did this when we were doing the cornflake cakes before, like, and you get there and she just got the spoon into the things. And I need a poo. Oh, for fuck's sake. That's fucking 20 minutes, that, like, you know what I mean? Fuck's sake. I come up the stairs before I thought this was a belter. Because she forgot about it. I was like, let's just get this fucking done, and then you can go for your poo. She forgot she didn't need a poo. I come up the stairs before. Sometimes I cry when I'm having a poo, Daddy. What the fucking hell's going on there? She was just sat at the end of the corridor on the toilet.
Wow.
It's like,
It's a blockbuster.
Big one, is it,
Yeah,
mate?
Jesus Christ, size of that. Absolute size of that. Yeah, I don't really know how to stop that. Oh, I've learned an important lesson this week. In our current climate, in our current world, I went shopping at like 8 o'clock at night. I went to the Aldi by ours, and it was absolutely glorious. It was the most pleasant shopping experience I think I've ever had. Like, I know, don't get me wrong, so I've had to go shopping twice in the last 7 days, maybe slightly less, because we did our big shop and I went to the nearest supermarket, which, well, I've mentioned this before, it's Sainsbury's. I wouldn't normally shop at Sainsbury's, it's closer than all the other ones. And the queue was round the car park, and the weather was lovely, so I didn't mind. So, like, you've got it's the one time in life where the whole British queuing thing is bearable, because it's like you just going out with your head in your hands and getting to clear the air. If it takes 15 minutes longer, it's 15 minutes that I'm not having my head absolutely battered off by the universe. So didn't mind that too much, but it was still a bit kind of hectic. I went to Aldi last night. It's like dusk setting in, no queue. Got in. There's about 5 people in there, and you know what the queues are normally like in Aldi as well. It is normally like, you know, when you see footage of people getting on trains in Delhi, and it's just like people throwing bags on and hanging off the sides and all that. Cause that's normally what the conveyor belts are like in Aldi. There was one guy on, and he was dead nice. I didn't get his name actually, but he was chatting. He actually watches the podcast and watches Redman and stuff. He was lovely. But he was just dead. He was dead chill. Someone saying like, is someone open another lane? Yeah, Sam, mate, it's nobody. They'll be over to you in a second. Is anyone coming? Yeah, sure there will be in a bit. And someone came. It was just like no raised voices, no. You know the panic at Aldi normally to get your stuff into your basket or into your trolley or whatever, because you've got 14 angry people all piled high behind you, and they are like Jedi masters when it comes to scanning items. So it's normally done in a fair old clip. No, just nice.
Do you know why?
Chill, relaxed, great.
There's a fucking barcode on the top and the bottom. You never have to turn nothing round.
Really?
Yeah, that easy for them. Fucking, that's why they're so fast.
That's amazing. I never had any idea. They need to change that. That's far too stressful. If I'd known that.
Give us some time to fucking pack the
Oh
bags.
my
like.
God. Well, I might just start like taking a black marker pen with me when it's chocker. just put a little one line on each barcode just to slow the fuckers down. So they just got to spin it a bit, just to ease the flow a little bit. But that was great. And you know, I walked out and. I mean, again, we mentioned like people not understanding the social distancing rules. What I realised is that it's the Aldi on East Prescott Road. There's only like 4 or 5 aisles, and I realised that they've now got the arrows that say up and down, but people have clearly got their way in which they shop. And so the fact is, the furthest aisle, you've actually got to come up it from the bottom now. No fuck, I was doing that. No, and I had to stop myself because, you know, I spoke about it last week. I had to be like, it's fine. Do you really give a shit? Do you really give a shit if they're going the wrong way?
Yes, you do, Paul. Yes, you do, because that's the way that I know. No, this does my head in about Aldi's anyway, to be honest with you, because the one by mine's got 5.
Okay.
So you go up, you go down, you go up, you go down, and the last aisles are up anyway. And you're like, fuckers, you've done this so you sell more stuff. I know why you've done it.
Because you got to loop back on yourself to get back to the tills.
Yeah. You're funneling me through that aisle where anything could happen. I could walk out with a deep fat fryer and a fucking tape for all I know. I've got no clue what I'm coming out of that aisle with. You know, a fucking bread maker that's going to sit in my wardrobe or my cupboard for 6 years because I thought it was cheap at $69.99. It's just ridiculous. You know, I don't need to be there. I just want to get my ale and get out of here as quick as I can.
I've just bought another hose pipe and another DAB radio, and I'm absolutely laughing because it's an absolute. No, you're right. They direct you down an aisle. It's got their random shite on just for one last round. What they should really be doing is directing you back down the cake and biscuits aisle, because I discovered that back in the day when I was a student. And let's just say, you know, there were times when I would go and do my shopping when I was more snacking ready, prepared, more in need of snacks, munchies, if you will.
Pebbled,
yeah. And the biscuits aisle used to be the first thing you'd walk into, and I would spend 40 quid on apple strudel fucking biscuits and the traffic light biscuits and all that before I'd even got to the proper food. Yeah, because I just go in a little bit biscuited myself. Like
it's mad though, you know. Like I go supermarket shopping at night fairly regularly. I used to do it all the time, but you used to still do it fairly regularly. If you go shopping after dinner, it's much cheaper for the same kind of reasons. You're just not like, give me the cakes and all that type of stuff, like, you know what I mean? And it's the same with internet shopping, innit? Like if you're getting a delivery and you tend to just get what you want, and then you all of a sudden you're not there just grabbing Nutella bars.
I am terrible. I'm terrible because I believe in retail therapy. Like there's something that feels nice about like getting something nice. I mean, you get the slightly nicer bottle of wine, or you get like the slightly better steak, or you get like, pick up a Hot Wheels, you know what I mean? Whatever. Just something that makes you smile. Get a magazine. You would never, if you're doing your Tesco's online shop, you're not putting a magazine on your online shop. It's just not happening. But will it happen if I go into a Tesco's? 100%. I bought some magazines for the kids. Have they looked at them since? Oh no, I was going to say absolutely not, except they have. Because, and this is where the scissors thing came from, is because I got Penny one, like a princess's one, where there's like a cut out the cover, and it's a princess, and you cut out the clothes, and you can hang them on them, you can change what outfit it wears. Biggest crock of shit. Spent 45 minutes cutting out 4 things, because I mean, and I had the scissors that worked then as well.
I reckon Penny, I reckon she'd have done it quicker.
Honestly. Yeah, she's not. I mean, there's also a chance she might have chopped her finger off because she still has only 4. But given the annoyance it caused me, the way
you describe your usage of scissors, it sounds like you could not chop your finger off, but chop something else.
I mean, that's the exact opposite of my problem, though. That's the problem. Yeah, I just loosely scrunch the paper up between 2 metal prongs. Is basically what happens if I don't get the right scissors. So yeah, highly advise if you can, because it's the double bubble. You can have your exercise, but like shopping is still just a bit of a stressful experience regardless. So if you're able to do that and take that in the evening time, it was a very relaxing time.
I've learned that the security guys at an unnamed Morrisons is a bit of a cock, to be honest with you. So I went shopping for my mum and dad and for us at the weekend on Saturday morning, and went in. Queued to the petrol station car wash.
Oh wow!
In the Morrisons, Belle Vale, which I wasn't going to mention, but I have because I needed to let you know which car wash and where it was. So I'm there, and then all of a sudden, you're queuing up. I'm not bothered. It's fine. I'm like 20 minutes. Perfect, no problem. This is great. Again, no music. I'm a parent who's out. None of that. Get to the front of the queue. Sound, no worries, no issues. And then security guards having an argument with a pharmacist who works in the Morrisons. They haven't got a pharmacy department, so I'm not sure exactly what was going on, but I was right at the front of the queue at this point, and he was like, where's your ID? And he's like, here's my ID. And he's like, where's your letter to say that you work? He's like, I haven't got a letter to say I work here. Like, just go, look, your mate's there who works here. He's like 5-10 feet away from you. Will you just tell him and he'll know, and you'll let me in? And then the security guard tries to grab his phone or something from him as he's showing him his pharmaceutical ID on his phone, and he's like, you don't even know the rules of social distancing, stop trying to grab me fucking phone, tell me I'm not allowed in there, you know what I mean? Anyway, he was in. Next minute, the security guy's up in my face, like a fucking foot away. He's rude, isn't he? I'm like, you're fucking rude, get out of my face, like, you know what I mean? Look, these lines aren't just for customers, they're for you as well, you know what I mean? So go in there, no problem, do me shopping, come out. Like, fucking hell, that got too much. I'm gonna have to. I said to the security guard at the end, I was like, look, mate, I've just come in. You've seen, I've got a full shop here. That's my mum and dad's. I need to go back in. Do I need to get back in the queue? And he looked and he went, yeah. I'm like, okay, so no worries. I wasn't expecting him to be nice, having seen the way he dealt with the pharmacist before. So I queue back up again. And a woman comes down the queue and she's like, any 70-year-olds in the queue? Didn't look at me, obviously. And they're like, yeah, you can come to the front.
Not since you've had your shave, anyway.
Like, no, that's nice, isn't it? They're letting the 70-year-olds in. You mean, you've left them queuing for fucking half an hour before you've come down the queue, but that's nice. Maybe a sign to say the 70-year-olds can come in, yeah? What's wrong with this? You've got signs for everything fucking else. You got to tell us which way we're going to walk, but the 70-year-olds... Anyway, next thing, fella's fucking there, and one woman comes in on one of them fucking roller things, what are they called? The big mobility scooters, aren't they? So she comes flying to the front of the queue, and the security guy's like... She goes in. Why are you letting her in? She's got a fucking seat. She could be fine at the back of the queue and all this. Like, she's not fucking disabled. She's just fucking like this, right? And I'm like, oh, hello. He's off again. And I'm thinking to myself, well, what if a battery runs out? That's probably one of the reasons, I don't know how long these things are and blah, blah, blah. And you can't tell someone whether they're fucking disabled or not either, to be honest with you, just by looking at them. Anyway, so that one goes in, and I'm right at the front then, and there's two people in front of me, and they go in. So I'm like, okay, so I'm going in as well. You follow the queue system. I followed them the whole way here. When they've gone, I've gone. And then this woman's there. What are you doing? I'm like, I'm following them. Like, there's a fucking queue there. I'm like, I know, I've just been in it fucking twice, Tarlov. This is the second time I'm in this queue. You know what I mean? She's like, no, you haven't. I went, I have. I said, you walked past me before and started calling for 70-year-olds. She said, I didn't call you in. I said, the person in front didn't get called in. They work for the NHS. Well, they've just queued in front of me for fucking 45 minutes, right? And they've walked through, so I walked through, and she's like, I was like, go and ask the person behind me. And she went and asked the person behind me whether I was in the queue or not.
So you...
I'm like, I'm not fucking lying to you. I've been through this queue twice. You know what I mean? Are you fucking saying I'm a queue skipper or whatever in these times?
You queue jumping motherfucker. Did you have Did you get a single rider pass?
Have you seen the looks people get when they walk to the front, even if they're like NHS? You think I'm gonna go and I want the mob on me case here? I've just fucking queued up. You fucking cheeky bitch.
I wonder whether there's just a percentage of people who are currently working security in supermarkets that were probably prior to lockdown working the door at Yates's on the weekends and are just desperate for a bit of aggro. They just need a little bit of like in their lives, and you fall and fall.
Honestly, the other one that I saw when I was waiting, because then the problem I'd got then is because I'd gone into the supermarket, Paul, I'd broken the line system with there was like where you're allowed to stand, so I couldn't go back because the line had moved forwards, and you can't be shushing a whole queue for 40 minutes. People go back one, so I'm just stood in the thing, and she probably left me waiting there for about 15 minutes as well, before she let anyone else in, and there was like loads of people coming out, and this social care worker, I think she was from a nursing home, come in. And she's like, oh yeah, I'm a care worker. I was like, sound okay. And the security guard went, we can just ask this bitch over here who's just fucking had the argument with me. And she's like, yeah, have you got your thing? And she's like, yeah, I've got the thing. Yeah, here's me thing. And she goes, have you got the letter? And she went, no, I've not got the letter on me. Back of the queue then. I'm like, you fucking prick. You know what I mean? I'm like, she's a care worker, but she hasn't got the letter with her from her fucking place of work. I'm like, just let her fucking in. Yeah. What's it fucking matter? Yeah. No one cares. Yeah. Like, you've seen these... This is the problem, though. You've seen these videos from fucking London where everyone's flipping out. It's Liverpool. If anyone's a care worker in that queue or anyone's in the NHS, we want them to go through. Yeah. But, you know what I mean?
I think, there's like the natural scepticism, isn't there? And the... people, because people are just gobshites, and it's probably, I always say that, I've said that for years, when people presume the worst in someone, it's normally because they're really bad people themselves, and they assume that someone else is trying to rip off the system or break the system because that's what they would do given the circumstances. And yeah, it's mad. I'll be honest, like it's
like the people who park in the kids spaces when they haven't got kids, Paul. Scum of the earth, mate, them. How have we not purged them?
Let's do it.
How have we not? And you proper check it as well, don't you? When someone's getting out the car, you can't see the kid, and I always mentally apologise to them in my head when they do go to the back of the car and get a kid out because they've got the tinted windows. I'm like, sorry, mate.
It's when you're driving round and it's shocker, and it's a Saturday afternoon or whatever, and you've been that idiot who's not got the shopping sorted, so you've got to go on your day off with the full family in tow, and you see the one parent and child space, whatever, near the front of the shop, and you get in there and the car pulls in front. And I remember seeing that once, and it was an old fella, and I went, and he pulled in. I went, like, what the fuck are you doing? And he went, where? And pointed to the back, and there was like a 16-year-old girl in the back. I was like,
did you tip your cap?
No, I was like,
you should have tipped your cap, like, mate.
We need more stringent rules on this. What is the age limit for parent and child? Are you a grandparent? Is that your grandchild? Does that and I was like, oh, you sneaky little fucker. I mean, part of me says, in hindsight, maybe I can give him some credit, but really, no, it actually just, I'm actually feeling really angry just remembering the story.
There isn't a feeling like it, is there? When a non-parent takes that fucking space, it just, because you don't know how stressful it is going around the supermarket with kids. Because the people who do it don't have kids. Yeah. The people who have kids and have kids like old enough that you can walk around with, they appreciate it. Like, even just getting the fucking car doors open in a supermarket car park space is difficult. to get the kids in and out. If you've got to clip the kids into a seat and stuff like that, that's just hard. Just because you've got a fucking black Audi, no one's asked, mate. I know. Just get it out of the fucking parents and child spaces, you gobshite.
Yeah, I know that there's...
You know what I mean? Go and spend your £1,000 lease car on something fucking worthwhile. Yeah,
there's loads of people, I get I've seen people talk about who haven't got kids and they hate the stuff like that exists, and you're right, it's because you've got no context for it. But I love when people who are the kind of people who rally against all that shit and rally against parental things then become parents, and they become the worst. They become the worst for needing every possible thing that you get with being a parent and pulling on every cliche and all that kind of stuff. Because it's fucking it's not that. It's possible. It's entirely possible to get kids in and out of normal parking space. It's just much harder. And also there's that, the levels of high alert that you're on having your kids in a car park. It's like a giant ring of death. You know what I mean? Like you bring in your children into, you know what I mean? You've entered into some sort of, if you put like spikes, Bodician wheel spikes or whatever on the, on the side of the cars and all that, and added some people on the top with whips and stuff, you'd have like a Mad Max style Thunderdome. And where people can be murdered at any single turn, and it's not like that really, because you've bollocked your kids for their entire lives, and they are terrified of flat tarmac, and anything, and white lines. They're absolutely shit terrified of them, so they probably wouldn't be in that, do anything daft. But in your head, that's what it feels like. It's like having spider sense that's going off constantly. Car parks and soft plays are just constant senses of discomfort for parents, so any slight respite is much appreciated.
There's a soft play in the Eurocamp in Paris that I went to last year, which was glorious though, mate.
We watched the Champions League.
It's just no, not in the soft play. I don't think I might spend up in
that's where you celebrated
down the fucking big slide, going woo. So yeah, it's fucking, you can have a beer in there. Completely takes the edge off, mate. And mate, I've got photos from it. I'll send some to you. Like, it's fucking brilliant. So the fucking soft play's there, and they've just got essentially 8 Wetherspoons tables, and fucking the parents. You've never seen parents look so relaxed in all your life. There's a big fucking glass of white wine on most of the tables and a fucking pint of beer, and they're just there, just like looking at each other, going, "This is the fucking best." Whose idea was it to fucking sell beer in a soft play, like? You know what I mean? And it's just people loving life. Yeah. Loving life. Kids are nowhere near them. You can see them. There's monitors. There's everything. And you're getting fucking wellied on the side, and it's glorious.
The stages of it, and that feels like the absolute apex of it. Because I always think it's funny, because I remember I made a conscious decision early on going into soft plays, like not to. I'm not like a helicopter parent. And for those unfamiliar with that term, the idea of like literally hovering over your child, trying to protect the disaster at any turn. My mum is one of them. My wife's not either particularly. But like, so I tried to let them go. But I noticed this in soft play. The first one I ever went to was like a church group. My mum used to take them to, which you know about. And my mum and loads of other these mums and grandparents are like following the toddlers around, like, and then they bump into each other, and it's like, oh, and I just like, just toddlers. I know I'll have to deal with it if one bumps their head, and I'll have to kind of deal with that problem. But it's this notion of like apologising for your child doing stuff in one instance, but also it's fucking knackering, and you reach a point where normally it's the point where your kids are self-sufficient enough that they can get up and down all the obstacles on their own. So like Funtown in Garston, that some of the things were quite high, but the second Jack could do them, chilling like fuck, have a cup of tea and sit back, but you then buzz your heads off looking at all those other parents who were going through the tunnels and going round. I don't mind a little play now and then, you know what I mean, but there's a limit to what you should be doing in that regard.
It's your knees, really, isn't it, as well?
Absolutely, fundamental knee fuckers. That's what, you could get, there's people who get them put in, like, I think about the Russian gulags, and I think about, like, Camp X-Ray, and I think about these things, that how prisoners of war would be treated. You just have to put me inside a soft play that's composed entirely of those, like, plastic tube fucking things, and just make me crawl around it all day and night. That would be I'd give up any information in those kind of circumstances.
You've just reminded me, before lockdown we took the kids a couple of times to that big fucking bouncy castle place over in Runcorn. I think I told you about it. I forget what it's called anyway. Inflatonation, maybe, something like that. And there's like a little obstacle course bit. I'm like, fucking right, I'm gonna batter these here now, right? You know what I mean? Like fucking there. And the first time, dominated.
Sorry, your own kids?
Second time we went. Yeah.
Not, so it's only you and your kids. You're not like flying elbow dropping.
I'm not like they're going to anyone want to race with anyone else's kids, mate. You know what I mean?
But you did have one eye on some of the faster ones.
Well, I could take them. You know what I mean? I know that. So, but it's like, so you can't actually see the far end as a parent. If you want to see the kids at the far end, you have to go through it. So we needed to make sure that Lyra could do all the obstacles. So the first time we did it anyway. Second time we go back there, I'm like, come on, Robin, let's go. And Robin's fast as fuck the second time. Oh, she was going easy on me, mate. Possum she was playing, mate. I'm fucking there. And I don't know whether I put on a few pounds, like, but the fucking tunnel felt a bit tighter, and getting my ass through a fucking tunnel's difficult.
Like Winnie the
and
Pooh.
The tunnel's like this big, like, you know, honestly, it's like literally. And she's so. The worst thing is, she absolutely battered me. I wasn't even halfway around the fucking course, Paul, and she'd come through, right? And then she eventually waits for me, laughs in my face, and then goes, "Let's go again." So she goes again, and again they put the tunnels right at the beginning of the first half of the course and the second half of the course. So she's waiting on the top of like this climbing fucking inflator bit. She's waiting for me halfway around the course, and she must have waited 30 seconds or something, to be honest with you. She was fucking battered me. And she laughed at my face and then jumped down the other side like comedy timing was perfect, just and just jumped off. And then I never saw her again until the finish. I'm just like, oh god, she probably put 145 into me there. And the laps are only small.
I love that there's a moment that comes for all parents where the kids become better at stuff. Like I had it.
She's 5.
I had it right. So we came back.
I didn't expect it this early.
We came back from the walk the other day, and Jack was on a scooter, and Penny was on a bike, and we got to the home stretch back to ours, and I was just like, I'd been fine, I'd been sensible, like, you know, listeners and viewers will know I hurt me back before lockdown, a week or two before it, at the Carragher. I was on so many painkillers to get through, and it's been okay. It's been manageable, but I've noticed recently it's been flaring up a bit with walking and what have you. But I just, like an absolute idiot, just decided to race them. Oh my god, Chris, I smoked them. Absolutely smoked. I poured the afterburners on and everything, like I went for.
How did you?
Oh no, mate. No, honestly, I went. I had the full, like, what was the was it Michael Johnson, the sprinter? Like
the 200 and 400 meter.
Yeah, I had like
straight back, high knees. Yeah.
I powered, and I absolutely I let them. I did it the best way, where you keep up with them, you catch up. And like they're going flat out, and you know they're going flat out, and then you just open up, and I've basically been absolutely fucked for 4 days off the back of it. My back is in absolute agony, absolute pieces, because I am an absolute moron who just couldn't let me. Like they didn't even ask for the race. I asked for the race, burnt them off just to show my superiority. And then I've been paying the price like the idiot that I am ever since. Like it's happening in the modern world right now that we can talk to, that everyone can kind of relate to. And the one thing that came up was Tiger King, and neither of us have watched it. And when you get that real sense, like particularly right now, is that everyone's so lost in social media, and we talk about these trends that are people flying through and what have you. And like I'm sure The Mandalorian would be it if it hadn't been out in the States 8 months ago as well. I really, you just feel like you don't get the joke. I don't get the joke on this Tiger King thing at all.
I watched the trailer twice and decided that, after not understanding what the show was about after the trailer the first time, I watched it the second time and came out none the wiser and think that this is going to be fucking shit. Yeah. To be honest with you, I'm not feeling it. And the man can grow a mustache, and that's pissed me off.
I am. We come close. We agreed we are gonna watch it, because it's. I saw the trailer. This looks mad and fascinating. But yeah, I want people's recommendations for stuff that you want us to watch, that you think we should watch, that's maybe ongoing now, so we can keep up. So we can be part of the wider world media community, and we'll talk about that kind of series. Or if you want to absolutely force us to watch Tiger King, leave loads of comments on that as well on the YouTube.
A question for you, right? The Mandalorian, have you been watching it?
I've watched the first 2. I don't like.
Why
I don't.
Fucking hell!
Wow.
Why the fucking hell are they releasing it one at a time
for a series that's finished?
Or it's already fucking done.
Yeah.
Like, that's just... Yeah, I know, right? I know why. because you've got a 30-day free trial, and they don't want the people who just want the Mandalorian going on there and watching all of them and then fucking it off. I thought the thing was broken, to be honest with you. I probably wasted 45 minutes trying to find the rest of the series to begin with, because I was like, chapters 1 and 2. Oh, they've got 2 series, have they? Boss, where's the episodes? Yeah. And I'm there for like 45 minutes, like, what's going on here? And in the end, I Googled it, Paul.
Oh, right.
I'm not afraid to tell you that I actually Googled it. And then it was like, oh, they're releasing 2 chapters to begin with. Chapters? What is these chapters? You mean
episodes?
They're not the episodes, are they? Oh, my God. So they're releasing 1 a week on a Friday. Why? Why? It finished. Everybody knows it. Why did I even wait? I should have just fucking ripped it off the internet ages ago. But no, I wanted to be a good citizen, pay me friggin' money and watch it and feel like I've contributed in some measly fucking way to Jon Favreau making an incredible TV show. But what you've done is you've had me pants down, you've fucking rammed Paul's fucking left-handed scissors up them and pissed me right off.
I can't work out whether I like The Mandalorian or not.
Oh, I love it.
I enjoy it. I've it's fine, and I like the look of it. I like the feel of it. There's nothing I don't dislike it, but like I think probably because of this fact that it's all been done. I think if I'd watched it without I've not had it spoiled. You know what I mean? I've stayed away from spoilers on it and what have you since it's been out. But there's bits that I knew. You know, you can't help but know that are coming. You know, like the end of the first episode and stuff like that.
Okay.
So like the child and stuff like that. But like I it's fine, but it's. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. Like I've had this with a couple of things, like Picard as well. I enjoyed the start of that, but I still not watched the last episode because I've got there was no burning urge in me to like I have to finish this. I need this in my life. And I've watched the first 2 of The Mandalorian, and there's nothing about it that I should absolutely adore it. And I've been okay watching it, but I don't know. It's not gripped me yet.
Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is for me? I like Star Wars anyway. I love the pacing of it. I think it's a real adult-paced show, and yet in some ways you never really see him kill anyone, so it's clearly aimed at kids. It always gives you the illusion that they've died, but you never actually see like the stab or anything. The camera angle changes in just before it happens, so in some ways it feels really grown up, but also like it's been made for a child's audience as well. I really enjoy it, and you know,
I mean, he explodes about 10 Jawas, but I get your point. But yeah. But like
it's not the gruesome up close stuff, so which is quite different. And I just think, I just really like it. I find it like just calms me down, and it's one of them where I'm watching it in a dark room with no other lights on, and I'm just fully focused in on the television, and I'm really enjoying it because of that, like, to be honest. And it's not, there's not many TV shows where like we always have the small light on. If you've got a girlfriend or a wife, you'd always have, you know, like the big light's never on at night, is it? You know what I mean? I don't know why we even fucking had it installed, to be honest with you.
It's just so you can go into the room to turn the lamps on.
Satellite fucking lamps all around the fucking place, adding shit amounts of light to each corner for some reason, when we've got a fucking perfectly fucking sound light that lights the whole fucking room up. Right, anyway.
Sounds like a purge.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Yeah. Next week.
Yeah. I think my issue, I was talking to someone about this the other day, is that I'm not enjoying TV at the moment. Like, I'm not watching stuff anymore. Because, and I don't know why it is, and I think maybe it's just a psychological thing of where we're at. Like the guy who was working the Aldi checkout was saying, like, he watches Red Men and he watches this and he watches my channel and stuff, and he said, but I haven't watched them for a couple of weeks. And I was like, I get that. I feel exactly the same. I'm having this thing now where I used to get to the end of my day and it was a bit like, just put some mindless telly on, just put something to lose yourself in. Whereas, because I don't know what it is psychologically or whatever. Like, I'm not getting out of television what I did in the past. It's mad. Like, I feel like I need to be more active or stimulated. Like, I'm playing more computer games, or I'm trying to do other bits and pieces. It's weird. I need something that properly grips me.
Like, you see the views on everything for us have pretty much gone down, haven't they? You know, be that the podcast or whatever. But it's across the board. People aren't commuting as much. People aren't in their normal routines, and you know, I feel it as well. Like, you know, reading more books the last couple of weeks. I've read a couple of books in 2 weeks, I think, which is, I love reading, but it's not something I ever get the time to do anymore. But I'm finding I'm getting more out of the reading of the books and stuff like that. And I think everyone's just kind of adjusting in their own ways. And, you'd think podcasts would be booming. They're not. Yeah. They're not booming. Yeah. Because people aren't commuting and they've got other stuff to do. And, you find, I was speaking to someone yesterday who was about to fucking alphabetise his bookshelf. You know what I mean? He'd literally done every job in his house, mate. Yeah. And he's like, I was like, I am going to alphabetise my books. He's like, okay, mate, well, how are you going to do it? He's like, well, I might do it by author and then alphabetise it. Well, I'm not sure really. I might do it by size and then alphabetise it.
I think we're clamouring.
You need a podcast.
Yeah, well, we're clamouring for stuff. I think clamouring for stuff that a sense of achievement in things, and TV shows don't give you that because you need to commit yourself to a long spell or something. So like we've started watching Community again because it's funny. It's been years, and I don't care about it. I like it. It gives me a bit of a laugh, but I'm also not tied into it. I can walk away from it at any point. I don't mind movies, but I've been watching more movies with the kids, but we haven't really been doing that. I don't know, and I don't know why it is, but there's definitely something like you need to feel as though you're gaining something from life, and I think books feel a bit more natural, and people are taking up activities and hobbies, and like Charlie's just decided to reorganise every cupboard in the kitchen this week just to get a sense, feel like you're getting a grip, because when you've got no control over the wider part of your life, I think we're all seeking something that we've got our hands on. And I think that's why loads of people are starting YouTube channels up. I mean, I know you've kind of had that going for as well. Loads of people are starting podcasts up. People are getting TikTok accounts. People are being more active on Instagram and Facebook and stories and all this kind of stuff. So people are like looking for outlets for all of these things. But it's a weird the equilibrium's all over the place at the moment. It'd be interesting to see kind of how it works out.
Yeah, I think like it's probably a little bit different for us as maybe some other people. I don't know what the figures are, but a lot of people I know have been furloughed. Yeah. So they're looking for something to do to just take those 40 hours a week up. Yeah. You know what I mean? Where they go and do stuff, and then I'd imagine, and I've spoken to people who've said this, so it's not just me imagining this time. It's like, well, I always say I want to do this and I'm going to do that, so that's what they're doing, and that's boss. Yeah. Like for us, we're still working, and there's loads of people who are in our boat, but everything's fucking changed as well. So I think for us that the telly thing is something for me where I get home, not that it's a particularly hard or strenuous job, by the way, but you are tired, mentally you're tired, if you have to fucking talk all day, it sounds ridiculous, but it can be tiring in a different way to manual labour.
Well, it's not about just talking, you've got to be
switch off
on,
sometimes.
you're performing, aren't you?
And to switch off is a nice thing. So putting like a fucking Kim's Convenience on, that's my fucking night. Like I love that show. It's a little bit of a comedy, the same way How I Met Your Mother used to entertain me or whatever. Don't really need to think about it. It's not going to be too complicated. It's going to fill up half an hour and I'm going to have a little bit of a laugh while I do it. I'm not tired at the moment. I'm in the same way for some reason, even though I'm working, even though I've got the kids, and I am absolutely knackered today, by the way. But hopefully that's just a one-off. Yeah, I'm not physically tired in any way, shape or form. I'm not been walking loads or up and down stairs in our office or anything. So I'm just there needing to do something to fucking tire myself out a bit so I can get to sleep.
Yeah, that's it.
To be honest.
I'd be interested to know, again, people listening or people watching, you can tweet us at MAYCH X PAJAK. You can email us maychxpajak@gmail.com, or you can use the comment section on YouTube as well. Let us know what you're doing. How have your evenings kind of changed, if at all? Whether we're just weirdos and it's impacting us in different ways or whatever. Let us kind of know. On that, actually, something Chris and I had discussed. What we've done this week is we've actually launched a MAYCH and PAJAK Patreon. For those of you who don't know what it is, it's basically a system by which we can have a little bit more interaction with you guys who like the podcast, who like what we do, and enables you to kind of help support the podcast and fund the extra bits and pieces that we want to do in and above and around it. And obviously we're living in very uncertain times at the moment, certain times and uncertain times. Obviously, we know we've got Red Men. We're trying to keep Red Men afloat and keep Red Men doing its bits. If you're purely in it for the Liverpool thing, then obviously there's the redmentv.com sorts that side of things out. But yeah, if you really like this and you want more of this in the future and you want some added perks and benefits that go along with it, then go check it out. It's patreon.com/MAYCH X PAJAK. If you've got a couple of quid here and there to then please do. If you haven't, then honestly, don't worry about it. The podcast's still going to be free. It's still going to be here until we're, as long as we're still capable of performing it, we will be here delivering the podcast for you. But yeah, we want to be able to do a bit more in the coming weeks and months. And yeah, if you can join up to the Patreon, that would be a massive help to us. So yeah, we'll love you guys very much for doing that. Chris, shall we surge? The surge.
Yes. The surge.
Nailed it.
I thought so. Let's just pretend that never happened and never speak if it's a game.
Leave it in forever and ever. I'll definitely edit that out.
Are you going to surge, mate?
I want
I'm not even
surge.
entertaining the fact that you're going to take that out.
I want
probably make it the beginning and the fucking end of the show, and you use it every time there's a fucking transition to scare people.
GIF. If anyone wants to GIF that, please do. Yeah, I want to surge, as in protect, ring fence, support, continue for all life. This 60 minutes of exercise a day that we're allowed to do, it's made a fucking game changer, absolute game changer. Like, and as I saying it, my back's sore, so like we've been going on hour-long walks, picking a different direction each day. Kids are going on the scooters, or Penny's actually she's enjoying just running, which is boss. Like, she's so good at running, it's amazing. And we've been having a chance to have a chat and a walk around and all that kind of stuff, and really get to know your neighbourhood a bit better, which is just great. And you think about, we live such a sedentary lifestyle normally. It's sat behind desks, it's sat in studios, it's sat this and that. And I love the idea of, you want to exercise more and more. And I think seeing the kids and knowing that, like, they used to have lunch times and break times and going around and running around the yard, and you become aware of that, but you don't carry that over to yourself. And everyone wonders why we put weight on. It's because we went from a life of teenagers where we just ran around constantly. You were out in school, you used to be playing lunch, you'd be running around playing footy, then you go to the park and play footy till you couldn't move anymore. And then maybe as you got a little bit older, you'd still have that, but then you'd be going out to a club and you'd dance till you were just wringing with sweat until 3 o'clock in the morning. And then you do the same again the next day and over. That's the one thing that I would like in my life to be able to keep. Well, this is over, and I don't want to be cynical and say it won't happen, blah blah blah. I'd like to find a way to make it happen. Is just to keep that even if it's not like an hour or whatever, but just keep that regular. Just going out for a nice long while. I love walking. I always used to walk everywhere. There's nowhere to really walk round by ours, but also now that helps because you're not walking to a destination anymore. You're just walking to walk, and that always felt like a waste of time prior to this, whereas you realise that walking is an end unto itself. So I want to surge that. I want to keep that moving forward.
Mine's not something that I want to keep or anything. I want this to surge, as it were, so to actually become a thing. Social distance in sports.
Okay.
Right. Like, fucking golf, man. You can't really get much more of a perfect sport for social distancing. Like, can I go on the golf course, please, and just have, 3 people on a fucking hole, the 250 yards, I'll stay 2 metres away from my mate when I'm teeing off, and just play a little bit of golf, like, why can't we do that? Yeah. You know what I mean? That's a perfect social distancing sport. Tennis, if there's just fucking 2 people on a court, that's fine with social distancing.
The umpire's even raised up.
Yeah, you sound. Can we have some of these things back, please?
You can put the umpire in a bubble if you really want to. It wouldn't impact it in any particular way. You got someone on the Hawkeye in another room somewhere.
Mate, I'm not asked if it's competitive. I just want for us to be able to go and do that. You know what I mean?
I was thinking.
I'm not saying Tiger Woods needs to go out there and play Chillwall fucking 9 or whatever. But like me, I wouldn't mind it.
I was wondering this about, like, how could you create a socially distant version of football? And it's a bit like walking football meets netball, I reckon, because like you
have to stop when you get the ball.
You have to stop. You're not allowed. And if you drew a grid line on a football pitch, where you couldn't leave your zone effectively, so you'd remove tackling. I just want to know what it looks like, and this is the thing. The problem is I can't test it because it's fucking illegal to go out and it'd be illegal to go out and test it to get enough people together in the park. You'd have all the fucking social distancing. That's just going, look at all these people on the mystery, taking photos and putting them on social media. It's like, no, I'm creating a socially distant version of footy for the betterment of this country. But someone could do the math on that. Yeah.
I think that'd be brilliant. Some of the shouts that you'd hear, I'm in the half space.
Yeah.
I'm in A8. A8.
Yeah. Fuck. It'd be like chess meets footy as well. It would have that impact on it. Meets battleships.
What else are you thinking, mate? Jockeying would come back.
Yeah.
Because you can't press him. So there's no pressing, is there? Jockey him!
Yeah, you can say whatever you want to try and put the other person off.
Basketball
style. At basketball, you could probably basketball's probably just about socially distant enough that you could play it.
Not if they're squirting milk at each other. Like.
Oh yeah, well you'd have to withdraw the milk squirting elements of it. If you've not seen basketball, that's gonna fall very flat. I'm aware of that.
It's the greatest comedy film in the entire world, and you need to watch it. Yeah. We should do a watch party.
Oh, I reckon let's do that. Yeah, there you go. That's what we could do. If people want to sign up to the Patreon, we'll do some watch parties to mad and brilliant things that have happened in history, films, TV, all that stuff. I'd be bang up for a little bit of
It's
that.
like we make this shit up on the spot, isn't it?
You got it. Okay, well, listen, I think that kind of leaves it. I was going to talk about actually Liverpool's kits, and I really enjoy this time of year when you start to get a glimpse of Liverpool's kits. But what I've also realised now is that it ties into the PS5 controller thing from last week, where the league kits come out and it's just an excuse for loads of people to fucking minge bag about every single element of it or whatever. Yeah. So look forward to that.
Is it red?
It's definitely red. All the best. All the best. I'll probably do a video on that on my channel anyway. But yeah, anyway, thanks very much, Chris. You do seem in much brighter spirits, just for a little bit of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. You're doing something. Then you've got to get.
I am. No, I am.
You've got to get back into it now. It's dinner time now, isn't it?
Yeah, just gotta fucking. Oh, yeah, it's about to be.
Yeah.
Where's the protective clothing and the fucking helmet?
Yeah, absolutely.
Some kind of weaponry.
Right. Okay.
Weaponry to go down.
We will wrap that up then. If you're listening on podcasting services, give a 5-star review. Don't forget to share it. Let people know if you're enjoying the podcast. Spread the word and spread the love in trying and testing times. Do come and sign up on the Patreon. That would be a big help. And become the early adopters. Be our favourite people. Comment below. If you're on YouTube, drop a like. At MAYCH X PAJAK on Twitter. MAYCHXPAJAK@gmail.com. At Mr. Blood Red for Chris on Twitter. At
Just
Paul
fucking
Matron
tell them
me.
one thing, Paul. They're thick as fuck. They can't remember all these instructions. You know what I mean? Fucking like this, like that. Fucking just get them on the Patreon, Matron. It's all we care about now. Matron. That's our focus.
Or patreon.com/MAYCH. If you don't want to deal with this prick, by all means. Listen, we love you guys very much. We'll be back with more MXP next week. Ta-ra.